Okay, I don't think it got any clearer yesterday. Or did it?
It did.
Ichiro, well, what do you mean? I mean, he should be out. We're talking about Ichiro, by the way. You might remember yesterday's very popular Sayonara Ichiro. We're sort of on the same thing a little bit. He didn't play last night. Casper Wells did, and he played well. We talked about it a little bit today with Mike Blowers, and I mean, I don't know if things are any clearer or not.
Well, I think it made it clear last night that you've got to get something out of the young guys. You've got to see what you've got with the young guys. And I know Jeff Baker wrote about it today and saying that if the organization wants to prove that Ichiro is not getting the special treatment that a lot of people believe he's gotten, then you've got to treat him like anybody else on this roster that's not producing. And he used Brenan Ryan as an example. Best shortstop defensively in all of baseball, yet he's been sat down in favor of a guy who's not as good of a hitter as he is, and that's saying a lot, in Kawasaki, and who's not even close to the defender he is, but he has been sat down because he's not producing, and there have been others that have been sat down at different points or moved down in the lineup. Not Ichiro. First and third. You saw Casper Wells go 2 for 4 last night.
Yep.
You got to see what you have in that guy, and this is a season where playoffs aren't part of the equation, so why not throw him out there? Why not see if the Doug Fister trade did produce something in return? You got Furbush, you got Casper Wells. Let's see what you got there.
Mm-hmm. And I found that number today. What do we call it? Total offensive performance. Top, basically, which determines if you had a lineup of all 9 of one player producing at the rate they're producing at, the amount of runs you'd score this year. So it works with part-time players and full-time players.
And you isolated just right fielders, all right fielders in baseball.
No one was even close to being less productive than Ichiro was, unfortunately, on the number. I believe a lineup full of Ichiros would have produced 548 runs. For example, the highest-rated right fielder in this thing, Carlos Beltran, who's having a fantastic season for St. Louis, would be producing 1,385 runs. So he is the least productive right fielder in baseball. Playing every day, I for one don't think he should be playing at all, but certainly playing less, I think, is obvious. And we'll see how things play out, because as Mike Blowers told us, and we had our Tuesday conversation with him, it's always tricky when you're dealing with a Hall of Fame caliber player and a veteran at the end of his career, and there are things that seem obvious that you got to kind of walk over eggshells on a little bit.
Yeah, you owe him a certain amount of respect. He's been the face of this organization for quite some time in some pretty lean years, and everybody was rallying around 330 and 200 plus hits, and you don't want to forget that. You want to treat him with a certain amount of respect, but you also have to, at some point, face the inevitable. He's 38, he'll be 39 in October. He's done being the guy he used to be. We said that yesterday, we'll say it again today. And you owe it to your fans, you owe it to your organization to see what you have in the young guys. Casper Wells shouldn't be sitting because you've got to get Ichiro in the lineup. Michael Saunders should not be sitting because you have to get Ichiro in the lineup. You got to see what you got in these guys because they're your future. He's not.
Especially Casper Wells, by the same matrix, by the way, produces 880 runs. He's more productive than Ichiro right now. He should be playing.